Is it for him?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting of the Wayne-Westland Board of Education. It's April 24th, 2023, 7 p.m. We are going to begin our meeting this evening with a Pledge of Allegiance to the flag led by Julia Patterson and Jackson Roan from Taft Elementary School. Julia, Jackson.
All right, I'm going to read. This is on.
Let them say the pledge first.
Oh, pledge first. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Julia, and thank you, Jackson. We're going to have Principal of Taft Elementary, Brandon Cox, read a short bio on both students.
Each of our students wrote these in their own words. So I'm going to start with Jackson. Good evening to the Board of Education and the audience. My name is Jackson Roan from the world's greatest elementary school, home of the Taft Tigers. This year I'm in 4th grade and Mrs. Rhea is my teacher. My favorite thing about being a Taft Tiger is hanging out with my friends Braylon, Demarian, Peyton, and Raphael. My favorite thing to do is play hide and seek with them at recess. This year I was on the Taft Tigers basketball team. Coach Lamar is an amazing coach and I learned so much from him. He taught me how to steal the ball and now I'm great at making turnovers. He also taught me how to shoot and I scored in multiple games. I would like to thank my mom, my dad, Coach Lamar, Mr. Cox, and all of the other staff and students at Taft. I would especially like to thank Mrs. Alicia for picking me over all of the other students. Let's give it up for our friend Jackson, please. And then I would like to read Julia's. Good evening to the Board of Education and the audience. My name is Julia Patterson from the world's greatest elementary school, home of the Taft Tigers. This year I'm in 4th grade and Mr. Van is my teacher. Mr. Van is super funny and I learned so much from him because he is such an amazing teacher. My favorite thing about being a Taft Tiger is Mrs. Desjardins. I have known her since kindergarten at Hoover and I didn't think she would be at Taft, but she is here and that makes me so happy. I also love coming to school to play with my friends and learn math because math is my favorite subject. I am grateful to be a safety because I love working with Miss Samuels and her students every day. I also love to work for the safety coordinator, Mrs. Harkema, because she has a great personality. I would like to thank my sister, my mother, my auntie, my cousins, because I wouldn't be who I am without them, and I love them. I am so grateful to have them in my life. I'm especially grateful for Miss Sarah because she chose me out of the whole school to do this. Please give it up for Julia.
Mr. Cox, if you can take a picture with them.
Turn it around, please. Can I get in between you guys?
All right, scoot up here a little bit. Perfect. All right, smile.
Thank you.
Mr. Cox, did the kids bring any family with them tonight?
Can we please recognize the parents that came with the young lady and young man? Give them a round of applause. They're absolutely wonderful parents and they've raised absolutely wonderful children. We're so proud of them and we're thankful that you were able to bring them here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cox.
Thanks, Mr. Cox.
Next item on our agenda this evening is the roll call. Ms. Hines?
Mr. Albrecht,
I am here.
Miss Abney Mitchell,
Present.
Mr. Cox,
Present.
Miss Hines present, Miss May,
Present.
Mr. Neal,
Here.
Dr. Reaver.
Present.
Let the record show 7-0. We have everyone here.
Thank you, Mel. 244.23 is recognitions and presentations. Dr. Dignan.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Good evening, board and community. At this time, I'd like to call 2 representatives from our Career Tech building, Delaney Boston and Brandon Soiko, who are going to tell us some of the great things that are happening over at the William D. Ford.
Hi, am crashing the party for a second. I'm Margaret Magarowski-Leitner. I'm the teacher for our digital photography and media program, and Daryl told me I had to talk, so I'm going to talk for 2 seconds. If you don't realize that photography is a really important career, take a moment to look around this building, because our students have really kind of taken over. Our students from our course, their internship here with communications, they've photographed all of the schools in the district, and they have their images all over the building. And also we have students that have their work at in the HR department, our scholastic winners as well. So we wanted to make sure that 2 of our students had the opportunity to really talk about what this program is about, but I just wanted to invite you all to take a look and see other examples as well.
Real quick, before you get off the mic, can you talk about the DIA and our 9 winners down there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we win things in our department. And so in the past year, we've won 25 Scholastic Awards, 2 winners right there. We also have 9 students that have 12 pieces at the DIA, as well as we have an additional 11 pieces at the Museum of Contemporary Art Detroit. That opening is this Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. The public is welcome if you guys want to come and party and see what a teenage art show looks like at a museum. It's a pretty big deal, because having the opportunity to have exhibitions of this caliber on their resumes as 16, 17, 18-year-olds is an unbelievable feat, and something that gives them an incredible leg up as they push forward into their next steps in their career.
Hi, I'm Delaney. I attend John Glenn High School. I'm a junior, and this is my first year at William D. Ford as a Media 1 student. And this program has instilled a new passion for art within me and so many peers around me. We get to create so many projects, working hard to build our understanding of art, better understanding of what we like within art, and better understanding of with ourselves and as a community who all come together for the same purpose. Our program helps not only build our components of the understanding of art, but to better understand so much around it. We've begun exploring different career paths, and we've taken these skills to find out what we like and where we would like to go as people with these skills that we've built together as a community. Not only do I feel more confident in my career readiness, but I feel that I've also gained so many unique experiences within this program, like entering into so many competitions that kids like me would have only dreamed of. And to win them is also another privilege that is really big and really special to me. And these experiences really further ease my anxiety about career readiness, and I think that Career Tech is such an important program for so many students that are just like me. And I think that it's a wonderful program, and I would love to give my thanks to Ms. Maggs.
Hi, my name is Brandon Soiko. I'm here representing the Year 2 course of the media program at William D. Ford Career Technical Center. I'm a senior at John Glenn High School, and I've been in the media production course at William D. Ford for almost a year now. And I'm doing the work of someone who's in the Year 2 program. In this program, in the Year 2 program, we learn about making our photography portfolios and learning what it takes to be an actual photographer in that work field. We must submit our work into various competitions like those before me have brought up. And some notable ones being the Westland Library competition, photography competition, the Scholastic Art competition, the DIA competition, and the annual Museum of Contemporary Art in Detroit. In this course, we also must join an internship relating to photography. I help teach basic photography to elementary schools through the Bright Futures program. We are also required to experiment with different types of techniques in the studio. All of the Year 2 students, including myself, have just returned from the Skills USA competition in Grand Rapids, and where we had the chance to compete and improve our work in the photography field. I feel this class helped me become more prepared than I ever thought I would be for my future as an artist or photographer. and it's definitely improved my overall skill and knowledge for my future.
Brandon, Delaney, we have recognitions we'd like to present to you on behalf of the Board of Education. Thank you for coming here and sharing your experiences with the Career Tech Center. We're gonna get your picture.
Forward just a little bit. Smile.
Can we give them another round of applause? Next, I'd like to call Mr. Mike Schulte up to the podium. He's going to discuss elementary sports. As he's making his way up there, I just want to say over the last couple years, this is probably the best SEL that we've had as a school district. To get our kids organized and together, and on each weekend, we draw hundreds of families together throughout our greater community. So I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Schulte.
Thank you. President Cox, members of the board, Superintendent Dignan, and other members of our audience here. Thanks for having us here. With me, I have Michelle Smith, who is one of our activity coordinators. You'll hear a little bit more about what they do as we go on. But thanks for giving me the opportunity to come here to talk about our elementary school sports program. It's the second year of the program. We offer soccer for our kindergarten through third graders in the fall. We offer cheerleading and flag football for fourth and fifth graders in the fall. We offer basketball in the winter for fourth and fifth graders. We offer cheerleading in the winter for fourth and fifth graders. And we offer soccer again for pre-K through third in the spring. During that, we open up this to everybody who wants to participate. It's no cut, and our numbers grow. And so we don't let the number of teams we have determine the number of students who can play. We say, if you sign up, we'll find a way for you. The next slide that we'll have up here will show the numbers from our team for this year. And so with the flag football, we had over 150 students participating. For the fall cheerleading, we had over 250 students signed up. Once again, the basketball numbers are up there as well. And spring soccer. The reason I've got the plus sign next to it is because on any given week, that number kind of fluctuates a little bit, but that was our initial sign-up numbers that we have. The students all gather on Saturdays. We are trying to be at one of the high schools to show off our high school and build a sense of community while we're there. Many of the volunteers who help the events to run smoothly are high school students as well, so that again, it's getting a chance to meet some of the high school students and to say, this is what I want to be when I grow up. For example, in our basketball, all of our officials have been part of a high school basketball program this year, and we have the game start with the players and the coaches meeting the officials beforehand, where we ask the officials to say, what elementary school did you go to? So they get that little bit of connection there. Along with what we all know are all the benefits of playing in sports and growing a sense of community, one of the things that we've been able to quantify is some data that shows how this makes a difference. So everybody has their beliefs. Sports are important, teams are important. It teaches these lifelong lessons. But from our fall teams, I was able to pull some data, and we showed that for enrollment, for example, over the last 2 years, the number of students in our elementary schools has grown. Okay? Is it directly a result of this? Don't know, but I can tell you that over the last 2 years, we have almost 200 more students in our elementary schools now than we did before this program started. Okay? When we look at the students who've been able to participate, so the kindergarten to first grade to second, second to third, third to fourth, we're over 130 students up just in that group over the 2 years. We'd like to think that that's part of the success. People want to be a part of this, okay? Another piece of data that we've been able to look at is attendance, all right? We pulled some attendance rates for our students in the fall. Once again, our student athlete numbers are higher than the general population for the rest of the students in the elementary school. There's two different numbers because we report two different numbers, but the lower one, the 91 compared to the 87, once again, the student athletes have the better attendance. And so once again, we're seeing it gets them to school. To share a quick story about that, some of our schools are having their practices before school because it gets the students to class on time. Okay? So when we talk through what works best, rather than dealing with some of the after school, we get them there in the morning, they practice, they're in school all day now for the rest of the day, and it's a win-win for everybody. Some of the other success stories as part of the program, I meet with people like Michelle and the coaches at the end of the season and say, share some of your success stories. And really, I could talk for 2 hours tonight with the stories they shared and name names, but that's not what this is about. But what I do want to say is that the staff members, the coaches have said because we work in the buildings, we're able to build relationships. All right, we're able to encourage someone who might not want to be a part of a team. We might be able to take that shy student, that one who keeps to him or herself, and encourage them to be a part of a team. And they've all been able to share how this student came out of his shell, came out of her shell, didn't want to talk in school, who is now being a part of a team, and they're really becoming outgoing and feeling more a part of the school. Okay? And so each school has their story that they've shared with me, right, Michelle? Of an individual student here or there that said, you know what, I never thought this one would come out, and now they're flourishing. They're asking when the next one is. They're like the young man who said the national anthem, who said, I learned how to create turnovers and score baskets. And that excitement builds that school pride, that sense of community. And really, I think that's just as important or more important than the actual numbers. Okay? To wrap this up, there's so many thank yous. All right, and I have a partial list up there, and the reason that I put on there the word an incomplete list is because I couldn't think of everybody, and I'm sure there's people that we'd be left off. I thought about naming names, but this program wouldn't be successful without all of you, okay? It wouldn't be successful without the people from NFL Flag who cater to us, without our volunteer coaches, right? The activity coordinators do all the things behind the scenes that nobody sees that makes the day run smoothly and get the people on the team. Our officials, our high school teams, the family and friends who come out and support. As Dr. Dignan said, if we have 500 students there, we have 1,000 fans there. Okay, they're just coming out to do this. And so the community members, the custodians who are there to make sure that things are ready and open for us. Central office staff who's supporting it and saying, let's get it done. The building staff, like I said, it goes on and on and on, but it really has helped, I believe, with getting people back together and getting them active. And that's really what the goal is. And so I just really want to wrap it up by saying, thanks for giving me the opportunity to do this, and thank you for continuing to provide this opportunity for our students, because they really are thriving because of this. Thank you.
Oh, you're going to let her off the hook, huh? I thought she was going to talk. Thank you, guys. Great job. The next item is the Mary Bro Senior Center, and I think this is what a lot of the audience has been waiting for. I'm going to read a script, and then I'm going to go off script. So, according to Board Policy 6000.08, naming recognition and plaques, the board may consider naming a building, major addition, or program in honor of an individual who made a significant contribution to society and/or the district. I'd like to propose naming the Senior Center at the Dyer Educational Social Service Center Administration Building in honor of Mary Bro. All right, now I'm going to go off script a little bit. Mary served in this capacity in our community for 34 years. She took over really in the infancy of the senior center. And since I've been here in Wayne-Westland Community Schools, it's amazing. She always puts a smile on my face. Anytime that we ask her in the senior center to pack backpacks or whatever it may be, they have an army ready to deliver. And again, I want to thank people in the audience too, because it's amazing. A lot of people don't see a lot of the initiatives and the work and the logistics that goes into it. But Mary really is kind of the catalyst for that. Just some other things that I just jotted down. Mary, thank you for the numerous opportunities that you present to our community, from your trips, a lot down to the casino, bingo, but really just providing an opportunity for people to gather and socialize. It's amazing when I see people coming in droves just to be a part of the senior center. And especially for people that have lost loved ones and have really saw it as a place of refuge to kind of come together as a community. It's amazing. And again, I don't know what else I can say outside of thank you for being such a force in our school district, but more importantly, our community. What I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Cox and ask him to read out the resolution and then for a board vote.
Thank you, Dr. Dignan. Every once in a while, I like to go back to when I served on the Board of Education in the last millennium, when I was president back in 1999, and Mary was on the job 10 years at that point, so. This resolution of appreciation and acknowledgement of the service, dedication, and work of Mrs. Mary Breaux. Whereas Mrs. Mary Breaux has served Wayne-Westland Community Schools as the director of the Senior Citizens Program for 34 years. And whereas Mrs. Breaux has grown the program expressly designed for senior citizens to approximately 400 members. And whereas during her years of service, she has diligently focused on making a positive environment where each senior citizen has the opportunity to learn, have fun, and grow. And whereas Mrs. Breaux has provided senior citizens in our community with exceptional support and meaningful social opportunities. And whereas Mrs. Breaux has donated her time and resources to support her members. And whereas Mrs. Breaux has worked with her members to support initiatives and projects within the Wayne-Westland School District. And whereas Mrs. Breaux has been an ardent supporter of the Wayne-Westland Community School District. Now therefore be it resolved and known to all that the Board of Education of the Wayne-Westland Community Schools recognizes the above, and that the Senior Center be hereinafter known as the Mary Breaux Senior Center, passed and adopted by the Board of Education of the Wayne-Westland Community Schools. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
By Mr. Albrecht. Support by Ms. Hines. Is there discussion? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Hines. Would you like to discuss it, Mr. Albrecht?
Only that I've known Mary when she actually used to be able to sing pretty well.
I'm sure she'll have a response for that at a later time. Anyone else? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Hines.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Abney Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Cox? President Cox?
Yes.
Let the record show 7-0, motion carries.
Yep, I knew she'd want to say something.
Usually, I only get sitting ovations because most of them can't get up. And as you see, I wheeled in because I have two bad knees, so here I am. I'd like to thank each and every member of the board and Dr. Gignan. I was surprised, probably shocked beyond means, when Dr. Dignan shared the idea of dedicating this building to me. In fact, I think I recall saying, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But here I am. I was, and I still am, totally overwhelmed by the honor that is bestowed upon me. But I'm deeply grateful and very appreciative as well. I've worked in this district for 49 years, probably longer than some of you are old. Started in 1974 in the Sparky preschool program, the onset of that program. It was the most wonderful experience being in that preschool program. Danny O'Neill, who was a superintendent, after 16 years in that program, decided he wanted me in the senior program. I did not want to come. Sorry. I loved my job. It was the most wonderful staff of people. But I came over to the senior program. I never looked back and decided that whatever was going to happen, I was going to make it the best program ever that I could. I've been fortunate because I have so much support. You see a portion, and by the way, I want to correct, we have over 500 members. You said 4, but hey, we'll take it. My almost 34 years with the seniors has been absolutely amazing. I've loved every minute. Not only are they supportive, and they are very supportive and willing to do anything that the school district would like us to do, legally. Right. I've been fortunate to work with some of the best staff from the day I started in this school district until even now, from the superintendent's office right down to every custodian that I've dealt with. I've been blessed more than I can ever say. I'm thankful to all of you. I'm thankful also to my family, who some of them are here tonight, who have been very supportive of me as well. I've gone a lot, but of course now they're all gone too. I'm truly blessed. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I will not forget it. I did call Cheryl today at about 5:30, and I said to her, Cheryl, and she goes, what's up? I said, I have never been so nervous in my life. So I read part of my speech, and she said, sounds good, and I went, okay. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mary.
Moving on, again, congratulations, Mary, and this isn't the end of it. We will celebrate with everybody else at the Senior Center when we unveil the plaque.
I can honestly, I know I'm done, but I can honestly say one of the best superintendents. Love this man.
I'm going to turn it over to Dr. O'Feely, who's going to introduce Humanex. And go ahead, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Dignan. Good evening, everyone. Today, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Mr. Brad Black. He's the president and CEO from Humanex Ventures. He's going to spend a little bit of time today going over an overview of the partnership that we're going to be having, starting with some of the work that we're doing this year and over the next few years. And I want to say that I believe this is going to be a game changer for the school district. Mr. Brad Black has worked with Fortune 100 companies. He's worked with different leaders across different industries, from professional athletics to collegiate athletics. And he is someone that has seen the best of the best. We'll be visiting the Humanex Summit in the upcoming future to see other districts that have established a strong partnership with Humanex. We'll be taking a team of people out there. Mr. Brad Black and members of his consulting team have already come to the district to do some leadership work with our executive team. They've done work with our special ed team and with our human resource team. And in the upcoming weeks, we're also going to be having members of the Humanex team come back out here to give formal training to all administrators at the central office level and at the building level, because for our focus in year one, it's going to be on onboarding. And as we move into year 2 and year 3, we're going to really have a focus on talent development. And I'll just give a quick story before I turn over the mic to Mr. Black. I came from a district where we had a partnership with Humanex, and we were able to become an award-winning school district and an award-winning school based off a lot of the talent development that we had with our personnel, led by the support of HumanX. And I do believe over the next few years, when I spoke to Dr. Dignan when I first arrived, he has a vision for the school district, and I shared my vision for the work that we're going to do out of the Human Resource Department to support his vision. And I'm a firm believer that HumanX is a great tool and a great resource to make sure that we become a destination district. So I'm going to let Mr. Brad Black talk, and he's coming all the way from Omaha, Nebraska, because he values the partnership. And again, I really am excited about what we're going to do with this partnership over the next few years.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Alex. Great to be here today. Opportunity that we have, I'll just give you a snapshot of who we get a chance to work with in education. So we work in really three distinct areas: athletics, business, and education. So they come together in every community. You can't go into a community where you don't have schools, where you have athletics, and where you don't have a hospital or a hotel or a factory. So we work in every community, every industry, but tonight I'll focus on what we do specifically in education. So with over 500 school districts that we've equipped, from Calgary, Canada, to Orlando, to the state of Hawaii, those are all three of the largest in North America, to top 1% school districts in many states, including Novi, Dublin, Ohio, Indian Hills, Ohio, Schaumburg, Illinois, South Lake Carroll, Texas. We focus on how to create the framework with the tools and the concepts to create excellence. So these are a number of the people that we serve. Board of Education, we help select superintendents. Superintendents, we help select their staff and develop their staff. Human resource directors like Alex and other people put the tools in their hands to select one more like the best in all roles. Administrators at the building level to be able to build culture where they're famous, where it's our culture, where there's pride in that building because the people in that building have pride around the culture that they're all building. Athletic directors, we were just with 500 athletic directors at MIAAA up in Traverse City a month ago, including athletic directors from your district. But we equip the athletic directors to select coaches. Then we help select the coaches to equip and support students and student athletes. So our work in that last sector comes from our athletic river, where we do research with Olympians. We've had over 100 legend coaches in Texas alone, which is the first state we started our research in, and we're in our fifth state, which happens to be Michigan. So we will always be interviewing the legends to find out, how are you like that? What do you do? Why are you wired like that? So whether it's the Tom Osbornes in Nebraska, the Anson Dorns, the Jack Harbaughs, whoever it may be, we're understanding how they're wired. So we can help select somebody like a PJ Fleck, who went through our interview before he got a job at Western Michigan as the youngest coach in America, and did transformational work in Kalamazoo that hadn't been done in 112 years. Now he's doing that in Minneapolis. So all of that is the focus of what we do to equip people who don't have tools out there in the world. The framework of our work is really a laboratory I was blessed to be able to build. An architect, obviously nobody does anything themselves, but I was the architect of a model that was highlighted in Jim Collins' research. We were the number 2 company out of 7 companies highlighted out of 21,000 studied. So only a 7 made the final cut out of 21,000 studied. And the focus was, can you be great, and can you be great over time? They only found 7 out of 21,000 who could be great in terms of level of performance over a period of time. How that translates to a community is if you had a $10,000 investment in Stryker, at the end of the study, 15 years later, you'd have $5.3 million for your $10,000 investment. Today, that'd be $25 million for your $10,000 investment in Stryker stock. So it's the only public company that's ever achieved 20% profit growth, 84 consecutive quarters, 27 straight years. It's never happened. Well, that wealth goes back into Kalamazoo in the form of the Kalamazoo Promise, $200 million into a trust fund where every high school graduate in Kalamazoo Public Schools goes to college for free forever. That's over 800 college scholarships every year to everybody wherever they're accepted at any school in Michigan. So there's been hundreds of millions, actually it's now past $1 billion, that have been invested in one community, in the schools, in the universities, with the citizens, to lower property taxes. This last week, $300 million to fund a downtown arena where Western Michigan will play basketball and hockey. So it changes and transforms a community when you can equip an organization to know how to select talent, how to build culture, and how to build teams. That's the essence of what we do, is equip people to go select talent, go develop that talent, go build culture, where every building's like a magnet, not only for the people that are there, but the people say, I want to work there because the people that are in that building talk to me about what it's like and I want to apply. Because that's what happens with a great culture. And then great teams. You know, you're a team. You know, we could measure the chemistry in this team and I know it'd be high, just like we did with Dr. Dingman's team and Alex's team. We measure team chemistry. We've done that with the Olympics. The ladies who came back from Tokyo with a gold medal in volleyball, our tools were used to measure the chemistry on Olympic teams, to create chemistry where those 6 women could win the first gold medal in 60 years. So the focus is how to do that when the world didn't teach us how to do that. And then as we go into our model is highlighted not only in Jim Collins' research, but a book called Community Capitalism. Our story is a chapter in that book. And it essentially is economic development. When you have vibrant organizations and vibrant schools, people want to live there. People want to move there. People talk about it. And I was with a multimillionaire in Lansing 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about moving his family to Kalamazoo. And he said, it's palpable when you go there. There's the energy in that community. You know, he can live anywhere he wants. And he doesn't live in a bad place now. But he wants to live in a community where his kids can go to great schools, have the benefits of being in that community. So in more detail, what we focus on here at Wayne-Westland is to equip Alex and his team and all the administrators to select one more like the best, with tools, with evidence, with fidelity. So there's evidence like there is in all these other districts we've worked with for 40 years to know there's something special in a great teacher. And it doesn't have to do with the degree or the GPA or how many degrees or the school they went to. There's something unique. As we all know as we were students, we could name the great teachers in our life. And we don't know the school they went to. We don't know their GPA. We don't know how many degrees. We just know there's something about those people at whatever grade level, whatever content they were teaching, we knew how they touched us. And it wouldn't be great if you could, like other districts we work with, say, well, I need both hands and my toes to count how many great teachers I've had. Most of us run out of, we don't need our second hand when we talk about great teachers. It's a critical profession to change people's lives. And coaches are teachers. Great coaches are teachers inside. You know, we talk about the PJ Flex and the Jack Carbals and people like that. They're coach-teacher leaders. They change people's lives for the next 40 years. So that's what we've equipped, and we'll be doing this in June and throughout this year. A real focus in 2023 to equip the organization to know who they're selecting. And when you're selecting talent, it's the most diverse talent you'll ever select because our tools have no bias about age, resume, gender, race. The instruments don't know. All they know is, wow, here's this person hardwired like the best. So you continually get the best. Focus on the development. We've already started that with both the teams and the leaders in the district. The summit in July, and more work in that whole field, all the way down to athletics, and then focusing on the culture work, which is where we measure the culture and equip every building, every department to know how to build culture to the next level. So it's not like you talk about what it is, or you think it is, or hope it is. You know what it is. You know where it's strong, you know where it's weak, you know how you're getting stronger. So we build the layers into the practices so people can do that. So as we focus on what we're doing in 2023, these are the list of interviews that the district will have access to be trained. So people can use these instruments built by research and tested over decades to be able to select in all those roles. So everybody would be selected and no one would be hired. So in the broad world, people with hire with hope all the time. I mean, Nebraska just did it 5 times with their head football coach over the last 20 years. We hired with hope 5 times. We didn't have any evidence. We had a feeling, and it didn't turn out 5 times. Where Minnesota gets PJ Fleck, and he beats us every year, and his resume says that he shouldn't be able to do that because he was a MAC coach before he came into the Big Ten. He shouldn't have been able to do that. but we're measuring what's inside. So these are the tools that we're going to be focused on. And then building process, and then one thing I'll just highlight as we wrap up. You can measure the talent in every individual, and wouldn't it be great if every individual knew the talent that was inside them? So again, we do this with school boards, I do this with cabinets, we do this with organizations in every industry. Say, most people don't know what's inside them. The gifts inside them, they don't know. 2, 3, 4 things, everybody knows about them. But not everything they know about them is put in a positive category. Like, well, you know, she's always like that. Well, he always does that. Well, sometimes we're pointing out how somebody's different than we are, and it might be irritating. But it might be a gift that makes a big difference in the role. And so we take off the kind of quirks and conditions and the labels, and we say, how about if you went online for 15 or 20 minutes and answered these questions, and then we told you the greatest gifts you have inside you. To a student athlete, Sky Moore, who just went to the Chiefs, the second-round draft pick out of Western Michigan University. He went through our assessment like all the football players at Western. And he said, most meaningful feedback I've ever got in my life was to know what was inside me. Because I know I'm fast. I know I'm going to the league. I know I'm going to be a millionaire. But I didn't even know me. I didn't have any language about my own talents. So whether you're Olympians or collegiate or high school, we use the same tools. So every football player at Wayne-Westland could know what's inside them that they'll need to know and want to know for the rest of their life. That has to do with how they build relationships, what motivates them. You can make a big difference in someone's life when you say, do you want to open up the curtain and know what's inside? So that's a sample, whether it's for a coach or whether it's a principal, instructional coach. It was a larger instrument that the cabinet went through, Alex's team went through, but development is a very important part of what we do. So it's not just selecting going forward, it's how about if we help develop the talent that is here and it affirmed what's inside somebody that matters every day to who they are. So as I wrap up, there's just one more thing I'm going to highlight, and that is when we get to the culture work, this is where we're going to be defining and measuring and equipping every building to understand the culture in their building. Because when you build a culture, you're building a magnet to where people want to give their all, who are there, and want to talk about it when they go home, and other people say, I want to work where you work because of how you talk about how you work. So we want to equip 100% of a building and a department to be able to work on their culture together, and you would have metrics. You would know where you're strong, where you're weak, where you're getting better, where you're not, how you compare to the best of the best. So that behind you, or on this slide, is a snapshot of how we measure culture in a very comprehensive way. So there's top districts in this country that have been doing it for 15 years. They're top 1 or 2% in the field of education. They have Title I buildings. They have 2,000 kids in 28 buildings. And people go, how do you do it? And they'd say, well, we first build a culture because that's what's going to almost one for one, when you impact the staff, you're directly impacting the students. In a culture in a building where culture is strong, it goes right into the classroom. So that's kind of the A before the B that is critical, because you want to have engaged students and you want to do it by design. So I'll open it up for questions. Anything that anybody's wondering about our work, what we do, how we do it?
Questions, members of the board? Thank you for your presentations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Black. Next, I'd call up Mr. Villa and Mr. Kondrick, our transportation director and our food service director. I really want to thank them. This past year, we've launched our after-school meal and after-school transportation for the secondary level. And again, without the hard work of these two gentlemen, I don't think it would have gotten off the ground. So I'm going to turn it over so they can share some of the data with us.
Good evening. My name is Brian Vella. I'm the Director of Food Services here.
And I'm Chad Kundrick, the Director of Transportation. So, start it off? Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I just want to touch a little bit on kind of what our after-school meal program includes. Dr. Dignan talked about our secondary program. We also have some programs at the elementary level. So specifically at the secondary level, we really kicked off in late October and have continued here through the end of the academic year. We offer a cold meal immediately after school to any of the students for about an hour to about 3:30 is when that ends. And then those students kind of take off to their different programs, whether it be athletics, tutoring, or all sorts of different activities. And then we offer a hot meal starting at 4 o'clock, served until 6 o'clock. So we get a lot of those students for both those meals after school at both Wayne Memorial and John Glenn. So with the elementary school level, we cater to our Bright Futures program, the tutoring program through Eastern Michigan. Champions, another after-school program that includes some tutoring there in the elementaries. We also serve some of those sports elementary groups that Schulte talked about here a little bit earlier. In the secondary level, we really serve a lot of the students who are in those athletic on our sports teams who are there after school for tutoring and many different activities in the secondaries after school. Marching band, clubs, drama, pretty much anything that's going on after school, we're seeing those kids in the cafeteria immediately after school and up until 6 o'clock. So I wanted to touch just on how our successes are going. So in the month of March, throughout the district, we served 9,520 meals after school. 5,260 of those meals were to the elementary and middle school students, and then just over 4,000 were to our high schools. You can see there both John Glenn and Wayne averaging right around 150 students per day for the after-school meal programs. If you jump to the next slide, as you can see here, this is basically showing our numbers from October until March. It's been pretty steady all year. Surprisingly, really no lulls throughout the year. As it got started, we went through our hiccups there at the beginning, and the students have really taken a liking to it, and we see a consistent use, which is great. So I'm going to let Chad talk a little bit about the transportation side as well.
Absolutely, thanks, Brian. So after we feed them, we got to get them home somehow, and that's where I come in. You got one more. Oh, hang on. Go ahead.
Another part I wanted to add on to here, as this being the first year of the program, we've learned different areas where we can improve. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on those points here. As we started in late October, we really missed out on those first 6 to 8 weeks of the school year. So with a point of emphasis to be ready for that next school year. We've also learned outside of just those meals that we offer to the students, they are often asking to purchase more drinks and snacks that they can take with them, whether that's to practice or what other activities they're going to. So we're looking into adding that on to our after-school meal program too, opening our a la carte lines that are normally open during the school lunch period. Enhancing the variety of options that we offer. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from the students, what they like and what we're serving. So really focusing with our distributors and suppliers on what other things we can offer to them. And really just continuing on coordinating with the athletic directors, coaches, and the different sponsors throughout the district to really bring their programs schedules right around those meals that we offer to add more students to those throughout the year.
Okay, so we are getting the kids home. We have 2 shuttles currently. One is at 4:30 p.m. and the second one is at 6 p.m. for both high schools. We're providing transportation for all the students to the nearest established bus stop that they have. It's pretty straightforward. Most of the kids know where they live, but we have routes now, so we're all good on that. I wanted to highlight, these are our actual numbers of students that we are transporting per day, per week, I should say. As you can see, the blue line there, that's the 4:30 shuttle for John Glenn. It's more popular than the 6 p.m. shuttle, and we like that too. Currently, it's because the kids, that's 6 hours after they get done at 2 o'clock. That's a long time. That's 4 hours, which is why we feel that the 4:30 one's a little bit higher there. If we take a look here, and you see this little outlier there on the right there, that's when spring sports started up, and we're also building the pipeline with our middle schoolers who are going to the high schools to work out and get ready for high school football and all that stuff for next year. It's great. We love it. Can't say enough good things about that. The same thing with Wayne. As you can see over here, we had a week where the 6 o'clock shuttle there, section was a little more popular than the 4:30 one, but it's pretty consistent. You can see we have the breaks there, which we weren't transporting any students home, but once again, you see on the right there with that boost to the middle school kids heading to the high school for after-school programs and food right there that we were taking home as well. If we take a look at the average here, you can see this is the 4:30 John Glenn and Wayne Memorial High School average. I really should have made that title bigger for me so I could have read it, but it's pretty straightforward. We're on average, I want to say we're transporting about 50 kids on average per day, per week. So I think how I figured that one out. Between the two schools, you can see which one's a little more popular, and they're starting to flip-flop there at the end and then catching each other up. 6 o'clock one, right here. The Wayne Memorial one, that one is really popular right now. It's been so since spring sports started, and it continues to be more popular than John Glenn. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing over at Wayne Memorial, but the kids like it, and they're getting rides home. These are the totals, amount of students we've been transporting for each week. As you can see, we've been averaging about 70 a week, give or take a few on that one. And students are also getting rides home from their parents, as well as walking home and going to other curricular stuff. Wanted to finish up here and just let you guys know we've done 1,900 rides this year. The 4:30 p.m. bus is more desirable. We're looking to change that to 4 p.m. next year with the changes I proposed last time I was here with the bell times. So we can get a 4 p.m. bus next year, which I think a lot of the kids will enjoy. And then, as you notice, we have a big number of riders increase with spring sports. Does anybody have any questions for Brian or myself?
Members of the board, questions?
I just had a statement.
Mel?
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys did this. When my son was in school, I was a single mom. His dad passed. I had 2 jobs and the school board, and I felt really guilty as a parent because he couldn't play any sports because, one, I didn't have transportation to get him back and forth and trying to feed him. So this is a really awesome program because it is difficult when you're, don't have a lot of families take your kids back and forth and they miss out on the opportunity of sports. So I really commend you all for just even having this program for the kids.
Other members? Luana?
Yes, I'd like to just piggyback on that. With me being from the city of Inkster, a lot of our kids now is more able to participate, not even just in the sports, but in the Bright Futures program for tutoring and learning. So I get a lot of feedback, and everybody be like, "Thank you, Miss Luana," because they think I did it, and I'm like, "Give me my flowers." But this is a great thing. It's great for our students that. As a matter of fact, when I was running for the position at school board, I spoke to a young man that lived all the way in Rumlis, and he was in this district, and he said that he had never been to a sports game because he didn't have transportation. So this is plus, a leg up for our students.
Yeah, thank you. I will say this: we do have a lot of students that ride to Inkster, and they're majority of our after-school shuttles as well.
And they all love me. They be like, "Thank you, Miss Luana." I'm like, "Okay."
Other members of the board? I have a question concerning the a la carte offerings for the students. You said you're going to revisit that. What is the procedure for that? What's that look like?
So a la carte, really just like selling extra snacks and drinks at school. So the basis, as we know, of our school meals, we're really held to standards of what we can serve the kids under the reimbursements, mostly their chocolate milk favorite. So we're experiencing, especially at the secondary levels, a lot of athletes are asking, can I buy water? Can I buy Gatorade? Because we normally serve it during lunchtime. And we've just never really thought about doing that when we got this program off the ground. I think it's really heightened up in the spring with them, especially when they travel, if they're going outside for baseball, softball, track, or if they're even traveling to an away game or contest. They're asking us, so we kind of feel like we're dragging our feet on, why weren't we doing this from the beginning? We never really thought about that part of it. So it seems like an opportunity that's easy for us to open up to them next year.
Next year, then.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
This portion of the meeting, 245.23, citizens' comments. This is the portion reserved for citizens wishing to address the board on issues which are on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone wishing to address the board on agenda items? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to 246.23, the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Weaver, support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Hines. Roll call vote, please, Ms. Hines.
Mr. Albrecht,
Yes.
Miss Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Miss Hines, yes. Miss May,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Dr. Weaver.
Yes.
President Cox.
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Thank you. 247.23, Board of Education Committee reports, currently has 2 reports on it. We're going to add a 3rd report tonight. But the first report, Finance Committee report, Ms. May.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The Finance Committee meeting of the Board of Trustees of Wayne-Westland Community Schools was held Tuesday, April 11th, 2023, beginning at 4:30 p.m. via Zoom platform. Mrs. Paulakevich shared a summer program proposal through the company university instructors. The program is grant funded and it will support students in grades 1st through 8th. She also presented a quote for SAM3, a STEM initiative. The quote included materials, software, and support for 3 years. Grant funds will be used to support this purchase. Mrs. Broyle presented a revised library purchase. The purchase will be made using general funds. Dr. Nathan explained a quote from Spiro to purchase items to support the K-8 STEM Center. The purchase will be made using grant funds. Dr. Nathan also presented a program to address truancy, behavior, and academic concerns from Concentric Educational Solutions. The 98C grant will be used to complete the purchase. Mr. Spizak shared an update on the following projects: Glenn's main gym floor, maintenance and operations warehouse equipment, bond asbestos, and furniture bids. Dr. Dignan provided information regarding the U.S. grant from Congresswoman Tlaib, Head Start, and robotics. Mrs. Cleaves explained the investment report and monthly check register. Dr. Dignan highlighted several end-of-the-year events. Each board member thanked the team for their hard work. The meeting was adjourned at 5:06 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. May. Number 2 is the Superintendent's Evaluation Committee report. Vice President Albrecht.
Thank you, President Cox. Good evening, everyone. Before I get into the bulk of this report, this was the 3rd time that the committee has met with the superintendent. The process that we use parallels pretty much the evaluation process that any other educator experiences throughout the year. And of course, as you know, any educator is expected to provide certain artifacts toward progress of achieving goals and meeting performance expectations. So that's basically what this report aligns with. This was our 3rd meeting. It was held on Monday, April 3rd, 2023 at 4:30. President of the meeting was myself, Dr. Dignan, Ms. Kimberly May, Mark Neal was excused, and the note taker was Ms. Cheryl Watson. Dr. Dignan presented a PowerPoint presentation to the committee members highlighting the initiatives the district is pursuing to increase student test scores, provide more opportunities for our students, and ways the district is improving processes and procedures. EduClimber is being used to track academics, social emotional behavior interventions, attendance, and student plans. This platform is tied to MyStar and offers all facets of each student profile in one place for school staff to access the information. The district is beginning to use Amira, which is a program that listens to students read, assess their fluency, and intervenes when helpful by analyzing errors students make to determine their strengths and weaknesses in reading. In addition to Amira, students in grades 3 to 5 are using Be Able to assess reading levels, strengths, interests, goals, and accomplishments in order to set academic and personal career goals. The district has partnered with the University of Michigan for a 2-year professional development program for K-5 teachers at 4 of our elementary schools to support them with practices in teaching mathematics. The district is working with Houghton Mifflin Harcourt and using Math 180 to provide students with differentiated math instruction to transition to algebra. and Read 180 to increase literacy skills. In addition to this, SAM Labs will provide materials for coding for K-5 students, which will be crosswalked with our curriculum. Ongoing work will focus on increasing FAFSA completion rates, EDP completion rates, and graduation rates. The summer of 2022 saw a student success rate of 83% in credit recovery programs. We will also concentrate on Tier 1 instruction and strengthening the PLC process. Initiatives such as the Young Fives programs, the multilingual department to support our EL learners, co-teaching, training for teachers to meet students where they are, elementary resource programs which are piloting more intensive reading interventions, the HBCU College Fair, and the Cash for Grads event, tours for fourth graders to see programs at the Career Tech Center have all been a success. Upcoming events for students and staff include the Must Roadshow, where teachers can see skilled trades in action, PD for staff to include learning around assessments, restorative practices, co-teaching, and literacy. A fifth grade camp at EMU, Discover Your Path for students to explore career pathways, class and career exploration at Wayne County Community College, and a partnership with SEMCA for high school students to explore different careers. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Albrecht. Great report. The chair would like to have a motion to add number 3, Head Start report by Luana Abney Mitchell to the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Albrecht,
With support.
support by Neal. Their discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Number 3, Head Start, Luana?
Well, the Head Start meeting, parent and policy meeting was held on March the 23rd. We did have 4 parents present, so which means that we had a quorum, because a quorum consists of three parents or more. So we approved of the budget, 5.6% increase for March 1st. COA was approved for 2023. We are still looking for a date for a family event, for rescheduling the family dance, because it has been canceled 3 times due to the weather. And as far as health and safety concerns, parents was encouraged to keep children home that was sick. We opened up the floor for comments. There was none. And the next meeting is scheduled for 3/27. It has been a issue with getting the dates for the meetings because I was not present at this meeting because of conflict in my schedule. So, me and Rebecca is working very diligently trying to get this in order. And that's the report.
Well, thank you, Luana. Next item on our agenda, 248.23, is review and approval of business service items. Dr. O'Feely?
All right, thank you, President Cox. I'll be filling in for Ms. Cleaves as she's at a conference this week. I'm requesting board approval to purchase a 2023 summer school program through University Instructors, LLC. University Instructors will provide a program that will meet our students at their level. The cost of this program includes every material needed, lessons, professional development, and they will complete the student registration. If approved, this purchase will not exceed $500,323.20 and will be charged through grant funds.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Was it moved by
Hines.
Ms. Hines? Okay.
Support by
Support by Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Discussion? Roll call vote?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Abney Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Dr. O'Feely?
I'm requesting board approval to approve the SAM 3 proposal. This proposal includes a 3-year annual subscription for 10 elementary and 3 middle schools. If approved, this purchase will not exceed $116,429.90 and will be charged to grant and general funds.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Dr. Weaver.
Support.
Support by Ms. Hines. Is there discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Hines?
Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
Ms. May,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
President Cox.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mel. Dr. O'Feely?
I'm requesting board approval to purchase K-5 building library books for each elementary building. All purchases will be made based on the quote from Barnes & Noble, which includes shipping. If approved, this purchase will not exceed $50,000 and will be charged to the general fund.
Motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. May.
Support.
Support by Ms. Abney Mitchell. Is there discussion? Roll call vote?
Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May,
Yes.
Dr. Weaver.
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
President Cox.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Mel. Dr. O'Feely?
I'm requesting board approval, move forward with the proposal for Sphero. This proposal includes several items to be included in the STEM kits and will be available for all buildings to check out. If approved, this purchase will not exceed $26,797 and will be charged to grant funds.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hines, support by Mr. Albrecht. Is there discussion? Roll call vote, please, Mel?
Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
Ms. May,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
President Cox.
Yes.
Motion carries
Thank you.
7-0.
Dr. O'Feely?
I'm requesting the board to approve the proposal of Concentric. Concentric has been used to conduct family visits to establish relationships, identify barriers that prevented students from regularly attending school, and work to remove those barriers. If approved, this purchase will not exceed $65,000 and will be charged to grant funds.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
By Ms. May, support by Dr. Weaver. Is there discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May,
Yes.
Dr. Weaver.
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
President Cox.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Dr. O'Feely?
I'm requesting the board to approve the proposal Foster Specialty Floors. If approved, this cost will not exceed $41,500 and will be charged to general funds.
Question.
Is there, first of all, let's have a motion.
So
See if it, moved
Support.
by Mr. Albrecht, support by Mr. Neal.
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Do you know the scope of the work? Are they coloring the floor or?
I'll direct those questions to Mr. Spizak.
Good evening.
You almost got away with it.
I only come for you, Dr. Weaver. So, we met with the AD and the administration over at John Glenn High School. The new floor will be, stripped down to bare wood. We have new logos going on. They're gonna put the Georgia G in the middle instead of the JG. It's a little bit larger, a lot brighter colors. And then the keys will be stained a different color, not painted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there other questions? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Hines?
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht.
Yes.
Dr. Weaver.
Yes.
Ms. May,
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. President Cox.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Dr. O'Feely?
I'm requesting board approval to proceed with the purchase of warehouse equipment. If approved, this request will not exceed $1 million and will be charged to bond funds.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Albrecht, support by Mr. Neal. Is there discussion? No one wants to know what $1 million of the warehouse equipment is? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Abney Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht,
Yes.
Ms. May,
Yes.
Ms. Abney Mitchell.
That's it.
I'm sorry, my sheet has a couple, I'm sorry, my sheet has a names.
She could only vote once.
I can only vote.
No, my sheet, my little sheet, I was looking, it had a couple names twice, I'm sorry. Okay, so Ms. May, Ms. Abney Mitchell, Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Dr. Weaver,
Yes.
President Cox.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thanks, Mel. Dr. O'Feely?
Based upon the results of a public bid opening held on April 5th, 2023, I'm requesting board approval to award contracts The total award recommendation amount is $400,000. This project will be charged to the bond fund.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Moved by Dr. Weaver, support by Ms. May. Discussion? Roll call vote, please, ma'am.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Abney Mitchell? Yes. Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. President Cox?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Dr. Field.
I'm requesting board approval to purchase furnishings for Elliott Elementary, Hicks Elementary, Roosevelt Elementary, John Glenn High School, and Wayne Memorial High School. If approved, the cost will not exceed $251,968.64 and will be charged to the Bond Furniture Fund, ESSER funds.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Ms. Hines, support by Dr. Weaver. Is there discussion? Roll call vote, please, ma'am.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Abney Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
7-0, motion carries.
Dr. Feely.
I'm requesting board approval to accept the Head Start cost of living adjustment budget as required by Wayne Metropolitan Community Action Agency. The full amount of the application will be absorbed by teacher salary and benefits. Once approved, the application will be submitted in the HSES portal for final approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Neal, support?
Support.
Ms. May, discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yes.
Ms. Abney Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Dr. Feely. Next item on our agenda this evening, 249.23, is a resolution to consider the designation of the electoral representative for the June 5th biennial election. I think we had some discussion about that. I think we're going to have, any member could go, but we're going to designate two members, members to be designated. Volunteers?
I'm going to nominate you,
Okay,
the president.
thank you. Any other nominations?
I'll go.
Okay, Dr. Weaver. I'd also like to nominate Vice President Albrecht. Okay, anyone else?
I'll try. Why not?
Okay, Ms. Hines? Any others?
This is unusual.
Yeah. Well, they serve lunch. So,
Oh, I'll go. No.
okay. Do we need a motion, or do we need a resolution on that, Cheryl?
Today we still need to pick two people.
Say again?
Today you just need to pick the two people.
Okay.
Next meeting will be a thing.
Okay, the first two named, and then alternates on the other two. Okay? So that's the motion. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Hines. Discussion? Roll call vote?
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. May?
Yes.
Mr. Albrecht?
Yeah.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Abney Mitchell?
Yes.
President Cox?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. The next item is superintendent's report and comments. Dr. Dignan.
Thanks, Mr. Cox. Just real quick, I want to thank the Taft Tigers for representing today during the pledge and our students from William D. Ford that reported out. The only presentation I kind of want to highlight is Brian and Chad's. Our after-school meal program and transportation's cut down barriers. We have a lot of food insecure students that the best meal that they eat after school is during our after-school meal program. I want to just get this out there too. This is open to all clubs, students that access tutoring after school, and a lot of our academic clubs. They just have to organize with their building principals and Brian from food service to make sure that they have slots and meals and stuff. All right, we want our kids invested in our schools and involved. We want kids that need to get that extra help in their calculus class to be able to go after school and get that help. and not worry about transportation. So I tip my hat there. I want to congratulate our robotics team that started a couple months ago and actually qualified for the World Championship in Houston, Texas. Matter of fact, they got back at 2 a.m. this morning. So they had fun. But I do want to say thank you to Deloitte for making it happen. They came in the last hour and made a substantial donation to make sure our kids didn't miss out on that opportunity. So we're grateful for that. Wayne Memorial Senior Emily Lemus was the winner of the Amazon Future Engineer Scholarship. She'll receive a $40,000 scholarship and a complete paid summer internship from Amazon. So congrats to Emily, way to go. Congratulations to Sophia Figueroa, who broke the Wayne Memorial 800 record by 0.2 seconds at one of our league meets, bless you, versus Livonia Franklin. Great job to Sophia. The athletic department used our GoFan this past weekend. We are going to start digitally taking attendance and payment rather than dealing in cash. So it was a big win. I think John Glenn starts this week. I want to welcome really the whole community. We have a partnership with the Holocaust Center in Farmington Hills. They have a free private event on Wednesday, May 10th from 5:30 to 7:30. They are only opening their doors to the Wayne-Westland community, so we hope that people will come out. They're going to have light refreshments and people will be able to get a tour to the building. I want to congratulate Sharon Sullivan from Stevenson Middle School. She was nominated for National Teacher of the Year Award. They're going to announce this here in June in College Park, Maryland, where the University of Maryland is. I don't care if Sharon wins it or not. What Sharon does in the classroom is incredible. Last spring, as you'll recall, she partnered with the Westland Historical Museum, and the kids had poster boards that you thought were professionally done. Again, she does it every day, and we're so grateful that she teaches here. Milton Jones, one of our teachers at John Glenn High School, he teaches mathematics, runs our Read 180 class, was actually selected for a national award by Houghton Mifflin. So congratulations to Milton. Two of the finest teachers I've seen is Melody Jacqueline and Caitlin Griffin. They're leading some of our intervention classes at Stevenson Middle School, and they were recognized nationally by Houghton Mifflin. And again, there's going to be more announcements and videos that come up. But again, we have teachers every day that are doing their best, and staff throughout the district that really does what's in the best interest of our kids. So I tip my hats to them. Just real quick, the EMU fifth grade camps, they start in May. I would encourage the board to come out for one of the days. Eastern actually makes their professors available for our students, and actually our kids can pick an AM and PM session, something around STEM. We're going to have a cultivating activity this year on Friday, which is going to be a little different. They're going to do it in the field house so parents in the community can come out, grandparents, to see what their fifth grade students have created. So we're pretty excited about that. And again, I want to thank Eastern Michigan. They housed hundreds of our female students for the Digital Diva event in early April, and we had more students represented from Wayne-Westland than any district that was there. So again, I credit it, and I turn it back to you, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Dr. Diggin. Next item on the agenda is that portion reserved for citizens wishing to address the board on any item at all. Doesn't have to appear on tonight's agenda. Would anyone wish to address the board on any issue? Okay, seeing none, we will move to review and recommendations, members of the Board of Education. Ms. Abney Mitchell?
Yes, good evening. First and foremost, I would like to say congratulations to our colleague right here, Miss Kimberly May, and I had just had it pulled up. Let me get it. She won an award. Well, while I'm pulling it up, again, once again, I would like to just say thank you to transportation and the after-school program, because it does help our kids that have barriers out a lot. And right now, like I said, I'm gold in Inkster because I'm making it happen. So I appreciate the board. I appreciate transportation for, you know, I ran to have this seat to bridge that gap, to have our students from Inkster and the other communities that we serve, thank you, be able to take advantage of the opportunities in the school, whether it's sports or career tech, and to get the people in Inkster, our administrators, our government involved in here. A lot of people think that the Inkster schools, the Inkster partnership with the Wayne-Westland Community Schools started when Inkster schools got dissolved. That's not true. Inkster has had a partnership with Wayne-Westland Community Schools for decades, even when we had Inkster schools. And a lot of people complain we don't have no schools, and my thing is, what are you gonna do until we get schools? The schools that serve our kids, go get on the board, go volunteer. This room should be packed right now with Inkster residents. But until it's not, I'm here.
You would be if
Supporting
you
our,
make a mistake.
it's a board. I think y'all gotta take one vote. I got some friends right here, especially this one that I'm finna say congratulations to. Well, our very own Kimberly May, Wayne-Westland trustee, she won the award for the National Association of the Federal Education Program Administrators. It's the NAEPA State Leadership Award. And I would just like to say congratulations to you and how proud I am of you. And the last thing is Inkster is having its Memorial Day parade on Memorial Day. I'm crossing my fingers. An invite was sent out to our band for Wayne Memorial and John Glenn, but we did find out that Wayne Memorial declined the offer just because the invite went out too late and they are already in the parade. And so I'm keeping my fingers crossed from John Glenn, you know, just to have anybody from Wayne-Westland schools in that parade. I'm gonna be walking on red carpet. So I'd like to extend the invitation to the board. If you guys are available on Memorial Day, please come join me in the parade. It starts at noon, and I can give you more information. I can send you a formal invite by email. And I'm also going to extend the invitation to class of 2023 for the seniors, anyone that would like to attend the parade. I'm willing to work with them to be part of that parade, because like I said, I will be on red carpet. But no, I appreciate the board, I appreciate being here, and I appreciate especially Dr. Dignan. They like, you know him? He's gold in Inkster. He's not gold in Inkster, he's gold in Westland. Everybody, he's the man. And I say, yes, I've been in his office. That's all I have.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay.
Please don't put that in the comments. I be looking at them comments and I be laughing.
Miss May.
So I guess first of all, I'd like to just say thank you to Mrs. Abby Mitchell for that. That was very kind of you. Again, thank you to our students this evening. Julia, Jackson, Delaney, and Brandon did a phenomenal job.
Yes, they did.
Love, love, love seeing the photography throughout the building of our students. You know, so many times you'll go in schools and they're kind of like the stage photos. They're not actual photos of kids, our kids. So this is just wonderful to have the opportunity to, I feel like it's an echo, sorry. The opportunity for just to see our students on the walls and for parents to come in and see their children. What a way to promote our district and just highlight all of the great things happening. I also want to just thank the team for the informative presentations this evening. I think it is, and I've been saying this to Dr. Dignan since day one, about highlighting and getting the information out about all of the wonderful things that are happening in the district. So often the community doesn't know all of the hard work that's taking place, and so when you do these presentations, it just allows for people to find out what's really happening in the district. The after-school meals and transportation, that is phenomenal. I mean, everyone has already spoke so highly of it. I echo all of those sentiments. I think it is awesome. I think that rather you're a single parent, whoever, if you're staying after school, kids are hungry. You know, they eat early in the day, they're trying to figure out something to eat. We really found out during the pandemic when the kids were home with us all day long how much they eat. They don't stop eating. So, I mean, you know, this is an awesome opportunity and to remove barriers. And I think that's huge for kids. So thank you for that. I also just want to take a moment just to highlight the opportunity to not only attend behind the scenes with a Michigan Association of School Boards, where you have the opportunity to meet with various legislators and advocate for the needs of your school, but the fact that Dr. Dignan opened that door for the district in itself, and to give that opportunity for your staff who are boots on the ground in the trenches, to talk about their day-to-day operations and the support that's needed, and to have the audience of the legislators, that was so powerful. So thank you for providing that space. Also, Mrs. Mary Brow, I may be mispronouncing, so Bro, okay, make sure I'm saying it right. I just want to say thank you to her for her service, and thank you to you for allowing us to have the opportunity to give her her flowers. This was such a phenomenal night, so thank you for that. I also, when you talk about the staff and how hardworking they are and just the phenomenal teachers that we have, as many of you know, I work for Plymouth Canton Community Schools, so I was at a training today with several Wayne-Westland teachers, EO teachers, and a principal, and just to say how well they represented Wayne-Westland, how hard they're working in the training. We will be in the training all week, and they are working hard and dedicated, and it was just nice to have that opportunity to work alongside them and not in a position as a board member, but as a colleague. So I was very excited about that. And then the final thing that I have is just to highlight the event upcoming of the Uncorked and On Tap on this coming Friday, which is the event sponsored by the Wayne-Westland Foundation to support our teachers. Some of you may or may not know that the Wayne-Westland Foundation gives our teachers grants for innovative classroom practices, things that they'd like to try in their classroom. And so the event is taking place at Hype on Friday, starting at 5 p.m. for VIP tickets, which are $50, and general admission tickets are $40. And you can get your ticket here from, I think the, from Maria, thank you. Yep. I saw Maria, she's gone. From Maria Mentor. So if you guys have not already gotten a ticket, please consider coming out. And I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. May. Congratulations. Ms. Hines?
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to congratulate Ms. May on her award. That's amazing. I'm so proud of her. And I do like to appreciate Ms. Abney Mitchell. It's really nice having her on the board. You know, one thing when I worked with her, I was so excited to have that other side, because I grew up in Inkster, went to Wayne-Westland schools. It's always been a disconnect, so it's really nice to bring everybody together. Because on the board, I do think we should have people from Canton, you know, different communities that's representing our school board to be, you know, on the board to get that information out. So I definitely thank her for that. I'm really excited about the team sports programs. I was actually just bragging to one of my commissioners today about, you know, what we're doing in Wayne-Westland and how our kids are, and that helps with mental health. You know, we had that terrible thing with the COVID being, you know, locked in the house, and it helps kids to be active. It helps them, you know, not have like psychological damages from sitting in the house, being able to relate with other kids. And the nice thing about being an athlete, it does help with your, not only it does with attendance, but your grades as well. So it's really taking them on to a really good start. The after school meal programs are amazing, because like before there is a food insecurity. So it's really nice to have, you know, food in the house, you know, for our students. I definitely would like to congratulate the robotics team in Texas. That was amazing. I posted it all on my Facebook page. I was so excited about that because we are doing amazing things in Wayne-Westland. Even with Head Start, like my son, not my son, but my brother has a 2-year-old daughter. I'm like, hey, you better put her in Wayne-Westland, you know, just because we offer a lot of great opportunities. And even with the kids that were doing the photography with the Career Tech, that's just super amazing. I'm so excited about that program we have. It was nice that Dr. Dignan did open up our school district to legislators. That was an amazing breakfast because we sat at the table with our senators, our state representatives, and our lobbyists. And we had a list of demands like, hey, this is what we need. And they took note. And it was so smooth on how everything works together. And that's why we have so much money. Like, you guys are so amazing when it comes to your grant management, applying for the money. I mean, $3.5 million, that is a lot of money. And that's just one particular grant composed of the 2.5, the other 1.5 million, because I do a lot of work with grants and they don't really give you that much. You might 1 million, not, 500,000, not a whole lot, but to get those huge grants is like a really, really, really spectacular in our school district. I'd like to congratulate, they have an event coming out, is the Jazz Cafe at the Wayne Memorial Cafeteria. It's gonna be Monday, May the 8th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Wayne Memorial High School Cafeteria. It's going to be performed by the Zebra Jazz Band. So that's going to be pretty cool. Like, you guys have some awesome events where you just, take your family, come out, listen to some good music. And I think that is all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Chief Neal?
I have no comments.
Dr. Weaver?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to again congratulate Ms. May on her award. I love the elementary sports component that's going on in our district. I applaud the district for caring enough to feed our students and to also transport them. When we're home having our dinner safe in our homes, there are people out on the road transporting students to make sure they get home, and they're to be applauded. Congratulations to Mary Bro. I've never had a building named after me for obvious reasons, but I think that that was very much appropriate, and so I'm thankful for that. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver. Vice President Albrecht?
Thank you, President Cox. I want to thank Julia and Jackson for leading us in the pledge. Especially thank you to everyone for their presentations. They were articulate, special, and they really mattered. Congratulations, Ms. May, on your recognition and award. Well deserved. I do want to talk about Mary Bro a little bit. I actually meant what I said earlier. There was a time both of us sang together in a choir. She can sing. I couldn't. There was a time, food after school and transportation after school is really special, and we recognized that 20 years ago. But it was really difficult to figure out a way to make it happen. The dollars weren't there. But some of the people in the room might remember the fact that we had contracts with vending companies. We had 25 or 30 vending machines in each of the high schools. And the profit from those vending machines actually went to the principal for their use. In the Wayne Memorial High School, we were actually able to start using that money to transport children home. And then along came somebody and said, we can't sell pop and Tootsie Rolls anymore. They weren't healthy. And that wiped out that revenue. And so we went through quite a long period of time of not being able to provide that. I recognize how crucial that is. There was a time 20 years ago when most of our students were able to walk to school. Now we've closed, I think, 16 schools since 20 years ago, and that's why most of them live so far away from their actual building, and it's so difficult for them to stay after school and participate in an activity. So with food for them, lunch in the high school is, I think, 10:20, 10:18. in the morning, and practice starts at 2:30, they're not getting home till 6. Really, really critical. So thank you all for all of that, making sure that that happens, Dr. Dignan, because and of course we all know those extracurricular activities are what keeps our children locked in at school. So thank you, that's my comment.
Thank you. And I'm going to piggyback on what Mr. Albrecht just said, because that's one of the first things that Dr. Dignan was talking about when he first came to the school district, is the kids do better when they're at school, when they're involved with activities having to do at the school, the sports. Mr. Schulte, when you did your presentation tonight and you talked about the increased attendance or with the different children, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that wasn't the catalyst behind the interest and what have you. I know that you just feel that things are moving in the right direction and positive, and these sports programs are every bit as important as Dr. Dignan said they were. So I appreciate that. We're all so proud of it. We love seeing, there's nothing cuter than a 6-year-old running around in soccer gear, I'm telling you. That's the greatest thing to see. I'd like to also say, Dr. Feely, thank you for spending all Mrs. Cleave's money in her absence. But you know, this relationship with Humanix, I think this is a very positive thing. This is something that almost happens by accident or because you have the intuition or something in the past, but now this is a total new approach to looking at things. And I believe it will probably open up in individual people maybe things they didn't know about their own interests. It may serve as fertilizer for the people that we have here right now. So I'm excited about that and appreciate you bringing it to us. Thank you, Dr. Dignan. And with that, thank you everyone for attendance this evening. I will entertain a motion to adjourn by Mr. Albrecht, supported by Chief Neal. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're adjourned.
So I'll just say